Let's take a closer look at the Micro Galaxy Squadron Mace Windu's Jedi Interceptor.
Villa Varykino, living the Star Wars life.
Hello there, and thanks for visiting the Villa Varykino YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be unboxing the Micro Galaxy Squadron Mace Windu's Jedi Interceptor. As you can see by the purple mark down the side, this is from the most recent Series 5. Very excited to find this locally here in New Zealand. So before I take it out of the packaging, I'm just going to take one final look, because cutting through the bubble means that this doesn't quite look the same once I've opened it. And I do like to keep the packaging. I think in particular the Micro Galaxy Squadron has some really fun and bright packaging design. So I do understand why some people may keep theirs boxed, but personally I think these just look a little cooler out of the packaging. So let's take a closer look. We've got that nice big Micro Galaxy Squadron logo here on the front. It's a bit reflective because we've got a silver foil effect here. Across the bottom we can see the text Mace Windu's Jedi Interceptor, and this one is number 0103 from the line. Nice and easy check listing if you want to keep track of which ones you have in your collection with that nice number system there. And of course this is from Series 5. It's kind of fun that the marker for Series 5 is purple, matches very well to the purple of Mace Windu's Starfighter here. Very cool. So we can see that this includes two minifigures. We have Mace Windu and R4-M6, a very aptly purple astromech with a silver dome. We can see by the insert here that the Mace Windu figure is going to fit inside the cockpit. It always looks cool when you have a figure to put inside the cockpit, because these are clear or translucent plastic. You can see the figure inside, so it always looks cool to be able to put them in there for display. And behind the vehicle we have a bit of a Clone Wars battle scene going on here with the droid fighter, and we can see a little bit more of them up the top here. Nothing too much behind the ship itself. We've got a bit of a planet and some blaster fire going on here. So on the underside, copyright and safety information down there, assortment number. And let's take a closer look at the backing card. So lots of fun stuff here. We've got a bit of a hologram style image of Mace Windu's Jedi Interceptor. And we can see this is from the light armor class range. We've got a few moving features here. We've got landing gear. We've got the wings being able to be popped out into flight mode. And the astromech should be able to fit into the port on the wing there. If you don't like to keep your box, you can cut out and keep this collectible blueprint to add to your little collection there. Nice, and reduces down the packaging if space is an issue for you. And down across the bottom here we have some of the other ships from the Series 5 wave. We have the Desert Skiff, the Resistance A-Wing, and then we have the chase vehicles here. This is Darth Vader's Sith Interceptor, which I have on hand because I want to be able to compare it later once I get the Mace Windu ship out of the packaging, because they are very, very similar. And there we have Kit Fisto's Jedi Starfighter. Very, very cool. I will have the unboxings for these ships all linked down below. I have gone through and opened these ones up, so I'll have those linked down below if you want to see more Series 5 unboxings. So there we go. Pretty standard backing card and packaging for the Micro Galaxy Squadron line. So now let's open up this bubble and get the ship out and take a closer look. So now I have the Jedi Interceptor and the minifigures out of the packaging. Let's take a closer look. And I'm going to start with the minifigures. I love these little plastic capsules. They're a great option if perhaps you want to put them on display next to your ship, or if you don't want to have them in the ships themselves, you can store them away. And it's got this neat little blueprint art here on the back, so you can match up the figures and see all of that tiny sculpting detail in slightly better light there. So we can see that for this ship we have two minifigures, Mace Windu and R4-M6, a very purple astromech. So let's get them out of the packaging. So hopefully they'll just pop out. Yep, they're nice. I'm going to start out with the little purple astromech because this thing is just so cute and little. Always really impressed with the astromechs from this line. So pretty much all over purple. I think it's probably cast in the purple plastic with a silver painted dome, little purple panels there on the top, and a black detail for the sort of eye. We've got one little silver panel here on the front and one on each leg there, and nothing much on the back. We've got a little hole on the bottom which helps seat on the peg inside the astromech port inside starships, so they sit just a little bit more securely in place and won't fall out quite as easily. Very, very cute. And he's just going to stand over there for now. Now let's take a look at Mace Windu. So pretty much an all over brown and beige paint scheme here, but that is of course accurate to the character. We've got his brown Jedi tunic, brown belt with a silver detail there. We've got a silver lightsaber hilt there, dark brown boots and pale pants. So like the other figures in this line, he can articulate at the arms up, and let's see how well he's going to bend at the waist. Oh, this figure's very stiff at the waist. Okay, now we can put him into a seated cockpit position so that we can put him inside his starship later. Now that I've got him like this, I can just see a tiny, tiny paint flaw on the pants there. That's so small, and of course, once we've got him in his starship, we're never going to see that again. But yeah, I'm still very impressed with the amount of painting detail they get onto these small little figures. So very, very tiny. Okay, I'm going to put those little minifigures just out of the way over here. Get this packaging out of the way for now. I do keep my packaging, but yes, we'll just clear that out of the way. So now we can take a closer look at the Jedi Interceptor. And this one is just so cool. One thing I particularly like about Jedi starships is they all have such fun paint schemes that are all sort of very well matched to the characters. So of course, with Mace Windu, with his very famous purple lightsaber blade, we've got this fabulous purple and light gray color scheme for his starfighter here. So in the packaging, it already had the top panels up, but they can fold down flat. And then you kind of get your fingernail up there and lift them up. And on the underside, we should have other panels that we can lift up, and we can get it into its full proper flight mode there. Very, very cool. We can see that vibrant purple there on the wings. So let's take a closer look at all this fine detail. So it looks pretty much cast out of this light gray plastic with the paint applied over top. So I can see just one minor little thing, and it may not even show up on camera. This is looking up very close. Just a very soft purple haze on the gray panel here, where perhaps we've caught just a little bit of kind of spray onto this panel here, but it is so minimal. I can't really see it unless I'm sort of tipping it and looking at it really close up compared to this panel here, which looks just a little bit cleaner. That's just one minor little thing. The cockpit for the astromech is actually painted purple on the inside, which is kind of interesting. You can see that, and the peg inside is also purple. We've got purple sort of running down alongside the cockpit on both sides, and we can see the wings. And this wing, you can actually see a little bit more of the weathering here. We can see these dark sections here showing up against the purple. So we do get a bit of weathering across the Micro Galaxy Squadron line. It's more visible on some ships than others. And sometimes even within, like, say, the Mace Windu ships, you'll get a little bit of varying, because I don't actually see much in the way of weathering on the rest of this ship. Just mostly on the wings, I think. It's just a little bit of sort of subtle weathering on these purple wings, more particularly on this side. So this is the most heaviest patch, I think, because some ships in this line, you can see there's sort of like a wash over the ship, but for the most part, I think this is a pretty clean ship. Just some really cool detail. All of the sculpting lines, got little silver painted details here for the laser cannons and weaponry. And in the back, we've got some really nice engine detail there, painted a sort of a vibrant light blue, metallic metal colors for the engine, and on the underside we've got a tiny little decal here by the cockpit, and of course we've got that fantastic translucent blue plastic for the cockpit window and that front window. So we're going to get a really good look at the minifigure when we put him inside that cockpit in there. Really cool. And on the underside, a lot of strong purple here. So we can see the wings. We can see we've got two different tones here. Pale grey, dark grey, got some grey going on over here, and lots of purple. So I can see we've got 3 landing gear, 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to go ahead and get these out. Oh, that was a nice easy one. Sometimes these can be a little bit stiff. Sometimes they're easier to get up. Let's get that one up. There we go. Got that one up. And last one here. If I can get that one hooked in, we can flick that one up. There we go. And to get it into landing mode, I'm just going to fold these wings in. And then we can put it like that. Of course, to be true properly sort of landed mode, we'll put the wings down. I'm just going to keep them up there for a minute. Sometimes once you close them all up, they can be a little bit tricky to open back up again, but I like the landing gear. Definitely looks a little bit better if you're going to display these on your shelf there. So last detail, let's open up this cockpit. So this is always the part that worries me the most. The cockpit opens up with this tiny little sort of groove here. Sometimes it can be quite tricky to get your fingernail in around a corner and open these ones up. And this one feels a bit tight. Let's see if I can get in on this side. There we go. Okay. And we can see all of the fabulous sculpted cockpit detail inside here. And you can see that window there at the front. You can see all the way through. That's really fun. No painting on the inside. It is just that same cast plastic, all one color. But the detail in there is really cool. So it's quite fun if you want to display them with the cockpit open as well. So now that I've got my little minifigures over here, let's go in and put them in. So we're going to see how well Mace Windu goes into the cockpit. Some fit in really easily. Some you got to really sort of wriggle with the feet. So interesting to see how this peg between the legs is going to work. So let's see, is he just going to sit in there, or am I going to have to kind of push him in there a little bit? So just going to, I think it's holding him in place. I think that's where he wants to sit. I'm just going to try pushing him back a little bit. It is kind of tricky sometimes to get these little figures in, but once they're in, they look pretty good. I don't know if he's going to cooperate with me. That peg between his legs is kind of stopping him a little bit. See if I can get him there. Okay, so we've got that peg between his boots there that's kind of holding him in place, which means it's just a little bit of a wiggle to get him in there. I can probably do a little bit of better adjusting, but it is a little bit tricky because they're so hard in there. But yes, he looks pretty cool. So I'm going to close the cockpit. See if this one's going to snap in place. Oh, no, his head's hitting it. Okay. I got to push him back a little bit further. Okay. There we go. He's kind of sitting back a little bit in there, but you can see the figure inside. I think he's possibly going to rattle because I didn't really want to put too much pressure on his legs. So I'll do a little bit of tweaking with him before I put him on permanent display. And of course, let's go and put the astromech in the little port here. With that hole, should fit nicely on the peg. There we go. That one doesn't clip in quite as strongly. I'm going to see if he's going to fall out. Okay. It kind of comes a little bit loose, but he didn't fall completely out. So yeah, there we go. Got him in there a little bit better now. Some of them fit very snugly, but there. Purple astromech looks really good with the purple of the starfighter there. And yes, so if I get these wings open, we can take a look at the full sort of constructed starship. with the figure and astromech and the wings in flight. Would be kind of cool if this one had a flight stand, because I do think it looks pretty cool with those wings out. I know it's a kind of a smaller ship, but I do really like the Jedi starships. I think they look really quite neat. Looks like we've got a little bit of weathering on this hinge that I didn't notice before. Just a little bit of speckling on these sort of hinges here for the wings. Just very, very subtle. Almost didn't catch my attention. And we can see the weathering on this panel here. It's kind of intriguing to me that there isn't that much weathering, if at all, on the main body of the ship, and there is on the wings. That's kind of interesting. So, for the sake of comparison, as I mentioned earlier, I also have the rare chase variant from this wave, which is a very similar ship, you can see. So this is Darth Vader's Sith Interceptor, which is essentially what happened to the Jedi Interceptors after Order 66 and the Empire took over. They basically, repainted and utilized the assets of the Jedi, including their starships. So we have this one. So it has been made in other collectible formats, but it is really fun to have a sort of a slightly lesser known variant in the Micro Galaxy Squadron line. And so when we can see them side by side, we can see that they are pretty much exactly the same ship, just with some different plastics used. If I can hold these ones up, we can see that this one is black with gray and a red cockpit and a very imperial black and silver astromech. And this one is a little bit more of a light side, pale gray and purple, but they look really cool, and I definitely want to get more. I hope we get lots of the Jedi starfighter ships, Jedi Interceptors, and because they just look so cool with all the different colors all lined up. I know it is essentially repaints, repackaging and things like that, but this one was a chase from this wave, so it is a slightly lesser known one. And I do hope that everyone that wants to add this to the collection has the Force with them on the day that they check their local stores and they can find this one. Took a little bit of hunting for us to find this one locally, but we did find it on our store shelf. And the Mace Windu one, I like the color purple. I think this one looks really cool, and I hope to be able to add more of this particular episode 3 style Jedi Interceptor to my collection, especially the iconic Anakin and Obi-Wan red and yellow ones from the opening Coruscant battle from episode 3. I absolutely love that scene. So of course this is a highlight to be able to add one of these starfighters to my Micro Galaxy collection. Looks really cool. I'll just have to tweak Mace Windu a little bit because I don't think the Darth Vader one has that same clip between the legs. I'll just see if I can pop this one open. Again, the cockpits on these are a little bit sticky because, as I'm sure you're aware, the Darth Vader minifig has just a full skirt. So there is no, see if I can show you. There is a tiny little hole there instead of that little peg that goes between Mace Windu's legs. So I hadn't known that there was something missing in there because Darth Vader just sits in there very nicely, and I didn't have any issue getting him in there. So I was a little bit surprised when I saw that peg there between Mace Windu's legs. So he's okay in there. I get the feeling I can just, because his boots are kind of just perhaps a little bit raised, like he's got his boots up on the dash there a little bit. I just want to get him a little bit better tweaked. Might need some tweezers to kind of push him into place there just to get that positioning just a little bit more accurate, shall we say, before I put him on my final permanent display. But there we go. I'll just open up those wings again because I think it just looks so cool with those wings all out. We can definitely see that echo of design that's going to turn into the TIE Fighter later down the line, especially when we look straight on with that window and those wings out to the side. Very, very cool. I love the vibrant colors of this one. There. Very happy to have this one for my Micro Galaxies Squadron collection. It's definitely going to stand out against a lot of the other ships. Obviously, Star Wars starships, there's a lot of grey. It's fun. The Jedi ships in particular have these vibrant rainbow colors, so they do really stand out on the shelf. I think that one looks really cool. So there you go. That was my unboxing and mini comparison of Mace Windu's Jedi Interceptor from Series 5 of the Micro Galaxies Squadron line by Jazware. Let me know in the comments down below if you are going to be adding this one to your collection. I think it's really fun. I'll have a few of the other Series 5 unboxings linked down below, including this one if you want to see my full unboxing of this ship. Catch you in the next video, and as always, may the Force be with you.
If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like, check out our other videos, and subscribe for alerts about new uploads. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.